In this episode of The Trend Talk, we interview the women behind NBC's newest sitcom, Lopez vs. Lopez. And then we're off to Vegas for the Latin Grammys. Welcome to The Trend Talk. I am your host, Bel Hernandez.
And I'm Liza Monet Morales.
Liza, what are you watching on TV lately?
Oh, Bel, there are so many shows that I'm obsessed with right now that have Latinx representation, but I have to say the one that takes the cake, Wednesday, which is on Netflix. Jenna Ortega is the lead. We, of course, have a bunch of other Latino actors in the show, but what I really love also is that they are celebrating Latinidad in the scripts as well as in the music, and they're making records. You know, they have become a global phenomenon already and have actually shattered the Stranger Things record for being the most streamed show in 1 week on Netflix. But Bel, what are you watching?
I'm watching This Fool on Hulu. You know it, huh? This show has taken critics by storm, and the audiences love it too, so much so that they gave it a second season.
Which I love. And if I'm not mistaken, aren't we going to have someone from the cast on with us?
Yes, we are. And if you tune in, you'll find out who that is.
But first, I feel that there's another show that we've both become pretty obsessed with.
Oh, I love Lopez versus Lopez. It is an amazing show, and I'm glad that we're going to have the ladies who created that show here on The Trend Talk. They're two amazing women, and this show is also getting a lot of viewers on NBC and Peacock Channel.
Indeed. Now, if you haven't watched an episode of Lopez versus Lopez yet, what are you waiting for? I'm going to read you the premise. It says that it's a once estranged father and daughter, played, of course, by George and Mayan Lopez, and they take us along for a ride as they navigate their dysfunctional relationship while reconnecting.
Yeah, and what does all that mean? Oh, it means that they're not getting along, but they were brought together by the magic of TikTok. How is that?
Well, we're going to get that answer after we take this break, so make sure that you stay tuned. We'll be right back. These next two phenomenal Latinas with us. Mayan Lopez, who is not only a TikTok influencer, but also an actress and producer, is having her first lead role on this show. However, she's no stranger to being on set, having grown up on the set of the iconic show George Lopez, starring her father and now co-star George Lopez.
Yes, and originally from Hollywood, Florida, Debby Wolfe graduated from the NBC Writers on the Verge program. She landed her first writing gig on NBC's Whitney, and she's worked with the Disney Channel, where she sold her comedy script, House of Beats. She also worked on Netflix One Day at a Time, and there she also sold another comedy script called Basic Witches. She was the co-executive producer on The Conners, and now she is the mera. She is the showrunner of Lopez versus Lopez, which airs on NBC.
Now let's take a look at some of the magic they've created.
Welcome to The Trend Talk, and congrats, ladies.
Thank you.
Yes,
so much.
Yes, congratulations to both of you. And let's get started on this wonderful journey that you've been on. So for those people that do not follow you on TikTok, Mayan, which is part of the premise of the show, you were posting about being estranged from your dad, George Lopez, and who you didn't talk to for a long time. And that's how you guys got to talking again, got back together. So take us down TikTok lane and tell us how that played out and how it became a TV show.
So like in a nutshell, I graduated college and finished studying at the conservatory at Second City, and I was just trying to start getting jobs, and I saw TikTok as a platform for me to be able to be creative. And I think in that time, what I love about TikTok is very educational, and you can feel like there's something out there for you. And I think one of those things that came to me was about therapy and healing and daddy issues, which I have plenty of, which I'm healing them. Thank you. And now I am with the show. And so there was times of, it's always been Lopez versus Lopez with my dad in a way, is that sometimes the only way that we could communicate with each other was just through a joke. And so I wanted to bond with other people and put it out there and to be able to relate to my work as people have done with my dad's. And that was just one way that I was being able to do it. And as well as other things. And I saw there's this one TikTok, the one that started everything. Someone was posting about things in my family's past. And I was like, you know what? I want to set the record straight. And I thought, you know what's going to get people's attention? No one's going to see it. Little did I know. I was like, I have to work upside down on a wall. Like, I'm a comedian. I'll go for the joke and and I was like, no, that's not true. Like yes, because my dad was unfaithful with my mom with the kidney. And so I was like, no, like she divorced him. She still gets hella money in alimony. We're better off. Like, it's a funny, thing. It was wrapped in a bow. And then Debbie saw that and scrolling down 3 a.m. as we do. And like, you can take it from there, Debbie.
I mean, I was just immediately struck by it. I was obsessed with it. I watched it like 50 times that night that I came across it. Cause I was just like, it was just so raw and honest. And it spoke to me as a Latina, seeing this Gen Z Latina, like calling out her boomer father, for his mistakes. And I was just like, she's just putting it all out there. And like, that's what I do. I do in my writing. I always write from my life. And so I just felt very, immediately connected to Mayan and thought this is a story that needs to be told, and emailed Bruce Helford, as the co-creator of the original Lopez show. He agreed, and we just went from there. Met with George and Mayan, and we just clicked, and here we are.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Now, Debbie, at all were you thinking like, okay, I see this magic? Because, what is really awesome about this is that it captures the Latin experience, right? What I really love is that in the show, you show the diversity of all of it, right? So for you, when you were watching it, you're like, right away, did you know this would be a really great multicam? Were you like, okay, what can we do with it? Because a lot of people may not know is that the show Lopez versus Lopez has actually made history by being the first show to be developed off of TikTok, which I'm just here for. So in that process development, what did that go like when you all went to pitch? Because that's a different pitch than normal for a pilot.
Yeah, it was just, I think having that material and mine had already had, I don't know, a ton of views on this video.
Yeah, that one, I also made TikToks about my divorced parents still acting like they're married. She
had a whole series that was going on. So to be able to show that and then, and just, it's always better when you can go into a pitch when it's based on a real story, because that's what's going to resonate with others. So, coming in with the reality of it, like meeting with George and Mayan, and then I developed a pitch with them, throughout the process. Like I spoke with them separately. I spoke with them together, and then I spoke with them separately to get the real details. And then from there, I just would, mind all these things. And I took things from my own life, being raised as a first gen Latina and having my own multiple daddy issues. It all kind of like gelled together, and that's how the show was born.
We want to set the record straight. This is a multicam film in front of a live studio audience, because I've seen the rumors of people like, oh, that's canned laughter. And so can you both set the record straight?
No, it's not a laugh track.
No, it's not a laugh track. Like, there's even like if we have to film without an audience, we will show the episode before the next episode so that we can record the laughter of the real audience.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry if you think it's fake. We're just making people laugh.
We're just
like, it's true.
Real people up.
Well, we're finding out the truth here on the Trend Talk. But Mayan, you've had some experience on television doing films. You also worked on your dad's first sitcom, George Lopez. But this is your very first lead and a series regular in a TV series on Broadcast Network. Mm-hmm. So can you describe the pace of what it is to work on a sitcom? Because people think it's very glamorous. And yeah, there's glamour in there, but tell us about working on a series and going week to week, and how would you describe that experience?
It was, and it still is going to be, it was one of the hardest things that I ever had to do, because I was very comfortable performing in front of the live audience aspect. But people might think that's the scariest part, but that was not. I was more comfortable with that. It was, with sitcom, it's so specific of, where you have to look, and even just, I call it humaning. Like, oh yeah, this is my kitchen. It's not a set. Like, these are my oranges. I can pick them up. Like, I can, it was just learning how to live in this space. And so, and also with it being so personal to me, it was a lot of things that were personally for me coming up. and that I had to, figure out how to push them in, like what to take from that to make it rich, what was too much that it's going to be too intense. And because it's still a sitcom, it's still keeping the laughter, but you want to bring the realness to it, but you don't want to bring too much where it makes people not want to watch. And so I was figuring that out. And it was, I'm always someone that, it's so funny. I have like processing, so it's harder for me to realize things, but with life, it's like, no, we're throwing you in there. You're going to do it. And and everything in my life, I feel like has prepared me to have that kind of strength and resilience and just, pushing through. It's like, I'm not giving up. I'm just going to keep working and working and working. And I'm very grateful that now I'm on the other side of it and I'm able to look back and see like how I'm improving. And I was like, hey, if I'm doing a good job, that's like great with me, of being able to stand next to my dad and, to Leva and Matt Shively and Al Badr. Like there's these huge people that are just so great, and that I was like, I take that as a very big thing on my chest.
And these are long days. These are not like come in and shoot and then you're running.
We have a pretty good schedule, I gotta say. We do.
Well, yeah, we shoot. It is a grind because we do shoot 3 in a row. So
it's 3 weeks on, 1 week
3 weeks straight. We're shooting an episode per week, and we have a long day of like we'll do pre-shooting, and then we have a live audience show, but we're also shooting that day too. So it is like 2 12-hour days. It ends up being, and it is a grind. By the time you're done with the third, you're just like, oh God.
Yeah, then you have the pilot, so you have the live audience, and then next day it's a whole new episode.
Yes, exactly.
Like, you have
wrap
like
your audience show,
less than 12 hours to just get to the table read and deliver, and then
like on to the next one.
And there you go. There's a glamour.
Mm-hmm. It's so exciting though. And now one thing that I have to say, we're so grateful for the grind that you all have been putting in, because for both of you, Lopez versus Lopez does a phenomenal job at representing diversity and the beauty of Latinidad on all different levels, from the casting to even some of the clothing, wink, wink, in non-stereotypical ways. So how did you each contribute to those details? And was there any pushback from the network? Mayan, let's start with you.
No, nothing from the network at all. NBC has been from the beginning so incredibly supportive and wanting to be like, this is a show that we need. We want to push like Latinx diversity or Latina diversity now, and being like wanting to tell these stories. And I think it was very important for some clothing to be from small Latinx like branded businesses. And it's like, no, we're going to bring, I always like to think of like, people don't have, you can bring people up with you. Everybody can win. It's like, if we're going to do this, like we're going to bring up give opportunities to our community. Yeah.
I mean, representation has always been most important to me, because I didn't grow up seeing myself represented on screen, as a first gen daughter. And like Mayan is the strong Latina, like therapized Latina that I always wanted to see. And so, that's always been really important to me. Our room is mostly Latinx writers. The neighborhood we set it in is a Latinx neighborhood, Glassell Park, which I also live in. And, we wanted to really make sure that, viewers felt, represented by the themes and the cultural nuances, and also just that we're not a monolith, and that, there's differences between Mexicans and Cubans and Salvadorians, and we explore that in the show, so all those things were just really important to me to represent and do right, having experienced them myself.
Yeah, and actually that was kind of the question I was going for, is that you do cover so much, and you also cover, the mental health, speaking Spanish, because like you say, we are all different and we all grew up differently. Some of us just got here. Some of us have been here forever, never left. The border crossed us. Yep. So you also talk about not speaking Spanish. Those are the differences as well among our community. So what other elements and what other things will you be covering in your future episodes?
Oh, we've got a lot. We got generational trauma.
We got generational trauma. I think with ones like not being happy for your
not being able to say I'm proud of you.
Yeah, not being able to say I'm proud of you.
Our community.
Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah,
that is a big one we can all relate to.
cultural appropriation. We have a whole episode about that. Yeah, we're definitely doing. We're not afraid to go there to tackle these topics that in the Latinx community we're talking about them every day, but you just don't see them represented on screen because you don't have Latinx people behind the scenes pushing those stories forward like you do here. So I'm really proud that we're able to do that, and NBC encourages us to do it.
Yeah.
They really back us up. We have a whole episode that takes place at the heaven of Latinas, which is Ross.
Oh my God.
I love that.
We've all been there. We've all had some outfits from Ross.
I love
The entire episode set at Ross, which was like
Now
I always wanted to do.
we would be remiss without saying there is some special cameos also happening this season.
Mm-hmm.
Do you all want to hint at that?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember which ones are public.
Yeah, a couple episodes. We have the original cast of George Lopez cameoing for our Christmas episode, as well as Cheech Marin and Rita Moreno coming in.
Nice.
That just gave me chills. I love it. Now, before we close, we'd love to just know, what do you hope people take away when they watch Lopez versus Lopez?
I hope that people take away that your family is families are just as dysfunctional as yours. You're not the only one going through, you may think that you're the only one dealing with it. You're not. And that you don't need to maybe you don't get healing from your family, but you can get it for yourself. And if you can get it with your family, that's great. And just hopefully just being able to see yourself on screen does something for you. And that's, I think it's the takeaway of just being seen, knowing that you don't have to be perfect.
And how does it feel, just really quick, how does it feel to be back on screen with your dad?
I was just to be on screen, with the George Lopez show, I had little cameos. I was a trick-or-treater. I was little things. And so to look at, I always it was such a thing of being next to him. And now every day I get to go to work with him. It was very emotional when the original cast was on, because I grew up watching them and they are like family to me. And now thinking about how my supporting cast is like family, and all of us sitting together. I mean, my dad and I were there were some takes where we were crying. It was just very emotional. Yeah. And that this is where it started. And now my dad and I were looking at each other, and it's I was at the head of the table and he was next. It's it was really beautiful. It was one of the most beautiful moments of my life that I got to experience that.
That's so touching.
Mm-hmm. And Debbie, did you have what your takeaway is for the audience?
I think for me, it's I want people to know that you can have a show with an all Latinx cast and be successful, and and we are here, and we don't ignore us. We're here to shine and we're here to stay. And, I really hope that the show opens up more doors for other shows as well, with a Mayan Latinx cast. We're awesome and we're hilarious and we're lovable. So just I want people to take that away and remember that and give us more shots.
Yeah. I love that. Well, indeed, thank you both so much for joining us. And if you at home aren't caught up yet with the first season of Lopez versus Lopez yet, make sure to catch it, all the past episodes on the Peacock Network, and new ones every Friday at 8 p.m. on NBC. All right, y'all, we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
For this week's Trending Topics, let's talk Latin Grammys. Liza, you were at the Latin Grammys this year.
Indeed I was. It was a blast.
There was a lot of fashion, a lot of gifting trends, so give us a scoop.
Well, rather than talk about it, why don't we take a look? What is up, everyone? It's Liza Monet Morales, and I'm backstage here at the Mandalay Bay, from where the 23rd annual Latin Grammys are taking place. You'll actually see an artist, one of the presenters, coming through as we're actually giving you all an exclusive behind-the-scene look at what this year's presenters and performers are receiving on behalf of the Recording Academy as a thank you for donating their time and services and being here with us on the show. Now, first up, I want to give a big shout out to Miage, which is an amazing company, skincare company. If you're not already familiar with them, I think you'll really appreciate that they have a waterless formula formula. There's no fillers, which means that their products actually penetrate your skin faster, which means you get to see visual results sooner. So big shout out to them. And we also have Maria's Gamesa cookies, which if you're Latino, Latina, Latinx, in the last 100 years, I am sure that you grew up with a roll of these cookies in your house, if nothing else, at your abuelitas. So I really love what they're doing this year. Is not only are they gifting everybody with their very own box set of cookies, but in addition to that, they're actually celebrating El Amor de Mamá. We're asking each of the artists that comes through to share the favorite piece of wisdom that they've heard from that special woman in their life, whether it is their mom or their abuelita or possibly their wife or a sister. And in addition to that, Gamesa Maria's this year is also celebrating the power of Latinas and is featuring 3 different Power Latina entrepreneurs from across the country. So we have the beautiful image outside of the box, which is an Afro-Latina that is illustrated by Melanie Espinosa. Inside, we also have an affirmation cup that this one particularly says, Mijo, you got this, but there's a version that says, Mija, you got this. Then there's also a tote bag that's made by a Latina queer couple that is out of Texas, which I really love, that we're supporting them as well. So again, it's all about supporting Latinas that are going after the dream and making it happen. Now the good news is you at home are going to have an opportunity to win your very own box, so make sure you stay tuned for that. In addition to that, we also have seen that there's been a vibe here, right? In between rehearsals, a lot of the artists love coming in here and kicking back, networking with each other, taking pictures, as you can see happening behind me. And so to that end, we have a couple of different libation options for them. First off, we have 1800 Cristalino Anejo Tequila. So if they are in the mood for some tequila, not only are they walking away with this beautifully designed case, which will feature their own bottle of tequila, but in addition, 2 crystallized glasses that are rock crystal that actually have that 1800 logo on the bottom. And if you haven't already noticed, there's a little bit of bling on my fingers because we have 2 celebrity manicurists that have been flown in. You might see that the ones I have on actually have the bottle inspiration on them, and they even can take a little piece of jewelry too, just to celebrate that 1800 special uniqueness, which is when 1800 Cristalino was created. Now, if tequila isn't their thing, don't you worry, Bacardi has you covered. Not only are they launching a new flavor here, mango chile, because again, if you're Latinx, you know how much we love that combination of sweet and salty but spicy. So they have that new flavor that they're launching here in Vegas exclusively during the Latin Grammys, but everyone's going to be able to take home their own bottle that is branded with the Latin Grammys insignia on there so that they have their own bottle of Bacardi rum. And if that wasn't enough, y'all, they're also getting a denim jacket, which is customly designed for everybody. It's limited edition. It has that Bacardi logo on the back, and then on the front it says Latin Grammy 2022, which I've been seeing that a lot of people have been loving. In addition to that, though, we also have 2 different options from Frontera Wine. So we both have a red and a white, and they've actually partnered up with Spotify and have created 2 customized playlists depending on which wine selection that they have, so that they can toast to those special moments, whether or not they go ahead and take an award home on Thursday. And last but certainly not least, I want to give a big shout out to PETA Latino, who is here. They've actually partnered up with Marier 1998 and have brought in these custom faux fur bags, as you can see, and they have a detachable no fur button on the outside, so the celebrities can either keep it on their bag, or if they want to rock it on their accessory or their outfit they're wearing on Thursday night, they can definitely do so, or possibly sometime in the future. But if that wasn't enough, inside there is a wallet by Waist Tea. You will never believe this, y'all. This is actually made from tea leather. So it's not about just getting the tea the way that we do here at Trend Talk, but now you can actually even walk with it on and off the carpet. So I have to say, this has been one of my favorites. But in addition to having the opportunity to win a box from Maria's Gamesa, we will also be having the opportunity to win some of the Miage skincare products. So make sure that you stay tuned for more details. For now, I'm Liza Monet Morales, backstage at the Latin Grammys. Back to you in the studio. Bye.
Oh my God, that was amazing. Did you say giveaways?
I did indeed. A big shout out to the Recording Academy for allowing us to give someone at home the opportunity to get a little bit of that red carpet dizzle dazzle, if you will. And we actually have 2 different items to give away. So first up is Maria's Gamesa. If you grew up in a Latino household, you know Maria's cookies. And what I love about Maria's is that this year they celebrated El Amor de Mamá, which is the love of mom. And they asked all the celebrities to share the best wisdom that they had heard from either their mother or a special woman in their life. life. But Belle, I see you're already eyeing our other giveaway.
Giveaway. I thought this was for me.
Unfortunately, no.
I love skincare, but tell us about this skincare.
Yeah, so this is Miage, and what's so fantastic, they were a big hit at the Grammys, and so we were excited to have them again at the Latin Grammys, and they actually are giving away this 5-piece collection. So it has a little bit of everything for you, whether you need your lotion for the daytime or the nighttime, the moisturizer. They even have something for your under eye area. But what I love about it is that they use stem cell technology, which for you at home, that means that you're gonna get results faster without actually having to wait as long for them even to take place. So they are instantaneously, producing those results. And so I'm super excited that we're able to give both of these away to someone at home.
So what can people do to win? Well, you need to head over to the Trend Talk, tell us which product you like and why, and then just send us a like and comment, and we will pick some lucky person. And we do need to let you know that only residents of the U.S. and Puerto Rico can enter the contest. But head over now, because look at this. You're going to win a chance for this.
I love it. Well, good luck to everybody, and stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
Thank you for joining us on the Trend Talk today.
And thank you to all of our guests, and good luck to everyone that's entering our Latin Grammys giveaway. Now remember, to enter, all you have to do is follow us on Instagram and follow @The Trend Talk Show and leave a comment letting us know which of the 2 products you would like to win at home. Now, in the meantime, make sure that you stay tuned because we have more amazing guests coming up this season. And remember, if it's trending, we're talking.